Kerry Grinkmeyer here with Best of US Agents. I'm out at an expired listing, and I'm going to show you today how I'm going to go about getting this listing as one of mine using social media. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Every morning I get up and I go to my Paragon software. That's my MLS software. And I click on the hot list, and it brings me up anywhere from usually 100 to 200 homes that some activity has occurred for. I'm looking for the expired listings, and I'm looking for the most expensive expired listings. So I page down on that list to the highest priced home. And I search then for homes that fit the category I want. And what that means is they got to be in the right zip code, they got to be in the right price range, the style of home that I prefer to sell. I don't want I like unique homes, but I don't want horse property. I don't want large acreage. It's not who I market to. And then I look at the pictures. I look at the pictures to try to determine exactly what's going on the house and why it's not selling. I look at the price per square foot. I look at how many acres involved on it, and try to come in my mind as to why that house isn't selling. If I decide, hey, this is one I want to go after, I then go to the tax records and I look for the owner's names. I usually print out the MLS sheet, and so I start taking notes on that sheet as to who the owner is, when they bought it, what the tax appraised rate is, and try to get some background. I then Google the name of who the homeowner is. I want to know who they are, what they do for a living, and how I might be able to reach them. In this case, the house that we just took a look at, I found that it was a couple, and through the Google I found out that the Mr. had died in 2007. I surmised from the pictures that the house was empty, so I assumed that the Mrs. is now in a nursing home or maybe living at the beach, but she's not in the home. I then go to a website that I depend very heavily on called fastpeoplesearch.com. And it's a free website that entices you for criminal records and things of that nature. But on the free side, it gives you a lot of information, and I find about 60% of the time I'm able to get their cell phone number. So in the case of the house we're talking about, that we're going to walk all the way through, and we're going to find out if in fact I do get it, I found the cell phone numbers. I found two cell phone numbers for the husband and wife, and I assumed that probably one of them is going to be dead because the gentleman passed away. I also assumed that I'm probably not going to have a lot of luck going, in this case, after a 70-year-old woman. She's got somebody else probably making decisions for her. Well, on the Fast People Search, it gives name associations. And I was able to determine on the obituary of the Mr. that they had a son, and his name was there as well. So I clicked on that name, and that took me to his profile, and it gave me his cell phone number as well. Okay, so at this point what I do is, and this is the first day that they became expired, I send what I believe the two cell phone numbers that were for the Mr. and Mrs. and the one cell phone number that was for the son. I send them a text. The text says something like, hey, I see you're having difficulty selling your home. It looks like a beautiful home there in Liberty Park. I think I've got some ideas as to how you might want to market it. Here's how I market my homes. And I then put a link to one of the 8-minute videos on one of my current listings. It's usually the latest one that I've had, because as I do them, I get better, and so the latest one is usually the best one that I've got. And I send that to them. They then, I assume, and history says that they're going to that text is going to get about a 90% open rate. So I'm assuming I just made contact with them. Then what I do is I send them my puzzled letter. If you've watched some of my videos in the past, you know that I promote something called a puzzled letter, and it's a letter that starts out, I see your house isn't selling. I'm sure you're puzzled as to why it isn't selling. And I go into basically saying that it's part of the baby boomer sell-off, and the reason that the house isn't sold is because the right person hasn't come through the door, and the reason the right person hasn't come through the door is they don't know anything about your house, and they aren't there with the right agent because the right agent doesn't know anything about your house. To basically illustrate that, this house that we're going after in Liberty Park that's empty, I knew nothing about. And I sell luxury homes, but I knew nothing about it because the agent never got me any information on it. Okay? So then the letter goes into, as an example, here's a house that I sold. I produced a video. The video was promoted by al.com. It got over 1,000 views in 36 hours, and that's how we promote our homes. I then go in and say in my puzzled letter, I'm going to do some things that no other agent will do for you. I'm going to go beyond just putting a sign in the front yard and creating an MLS listing. I'm going to use latest technology and conventional and social media and video to promote your home, and I'm going to show up for every showing. This is critical. When you're selling a $1 million house, you need to sell it. You don't just need to be a real estate agent. So that's, or excuse me, a listing agent. This is then my puzzled letter. And it's as you can see, it's about a full page. Then what I've done, and on this one, I've done it, I've turned that piece of paper over and I'm including my formula for selling luxury homes for 2019. As you can see, it's got pictures on it. It covers all the things that I do and how I market, and it goes on for another page and a half. So I'm putting in front of this young man a very concise plan as to what I will do in order to sell his house. And as it's going to say in here, I'm going to come into the house and I'm going to shoot a 1-minute video that I'm going to promote over LinkedIn, over Facebook, and then I'm going to shoot an 8-minute video which I'm going to house on my my own website, and we're going to put this in front of thousands of people, and we're going to get someone into your house. Now, that was all done, and that's where I am as of today. I sent the puzzled letter yesterday morning. Now, what I'm doing from there, and I've already shot it, is I'm going to stand in front of the house and I'm going to contact this wife and this son with a video of me standing in front of the house and telling them how I'm different and how I can sell the house. Now, that's what you're going to see right now.
Hey, Desi, this is Kerry Grinkmeyer. I stopped by your house, wanted to introduce myself, found nobody here, and I wanted to explain to you how I can go help you sell this house. I use social media, I use video as I'm doing here to communicate with your target market, and I use Facebook, LinkedIn, and as you've seen, I use text messaging. I identify your potential buyer, and then I go about making them aware of me, my method of marketing, and of your home. So I'd appreciate it if you give me a call. My number is 205-919-6006. I think I'm the guy that can help you sell this house.
Okay, after I've done that, I've got their cell phone numbers. Now it's time to call them. Is this a cold call? No. No, it's not. I've made 3 contacts with them. They know my name. While I was at the house, make that 4. I left my card in the door. Again, I suspect that maybe the son is living there because the garage door was open, but there was nobody in the house. There was no furniture in the house. I suspect he's living there. So he's going to know who I am. Whether it's going to be a well-received phone call, I don't know. But it's not a cold call. It's not out of the blue. It's certainly not like any other call that they're going to receive. The general tone of the call is, I'm not calling to list your house. I think I can help you sell it. No, I believe I can help you sell this house because, and I'm going to go through. The reason isn't a sell. You aren't maintaining the yard. The house isn't showing well. I'm going to gather some information. Have you had any offers? How many showings have you had? And then I'm going to show him, tell him, I don't know if I can sell your house, but I know I can make the community aware of it. And that's the first step. We got to get the right people through the front door. Now, what is this? This is target marketing, folks. This is bringing it down to the smallest viable market where I choose whose homes I want to sell. And then I specifically go after them until they tell me to go away. And then I replace them. Now, was he the only one that I sent this puzzled letter and formula to? No. I sent it to 36 people. I have a list of 100 people I want to work with, and they're in various stages. Some of them I have been dripping for a year. Some of them just showed up, but they're in various stages, and I have a system by which I continue to drip on. Does it work? Yes. I just picked up 2 listings last month for a total of $2,300,000, and one of them I had been dripping for 3 years. It was the first house I went to, and when I started in this business, I loved the architecture. I don't like the colors inside, but when I walked out of it after showing it to my wife, I said, eventually I'm going to get this listing unless they sell it. Well, they didn't sell it. It sat off the market for a year. I had been dripping the homeowner for just like what I'm doing here, and he called me up. Didn't call me to his house. I went to his business, and he said, I like the way you do business. You're not like any other agent I've come across. And I said, Bobby, that's the kindest thing you could have said to me. I am not a listing agent. I'm a salesman. That's what I've done all my life. I sell. And you don't sell $1 million house without a salesman being present. You just can't do it unless you get lucky. And this isn't a business about getting lucky. This is a business about being good. And if you will stay with me, join my Best of U.S. Agents group. It's bestofusagents.com. I'm going to share this letter with you, and it's going to have the formula on it so that you will, all you'll have to do is change. You don't even need to change the pictures if you don't want to. Change the words to fit you. Change the words to fit what you're willing to do that no other agent in the community is willing to do. If you will do that, if you will just separate yourself from everybody else, you're going to own the market you choose to serve. It'll take some time and it'll take some work, but stick with me, I'll get you there. It's already happening for me, and I've been in it 3 years. I've got about 10 million. Right now I'm negotiating 2 contracts, and I got a third one in the wings. So to remember my professional basketball player, I'm going to get them. I'm going to sell him a house. He just signed a contract for $15 million a year. Can you imagine that? 29 years old. The homeowner says, well, let's make a deal with him. I said, money is not the issue. He's got to love your house. And he's only going to love the house if I sell it to him, if I show him what's there to love. And that's what you need to do. Change your attitude. You're not a listing agent. You're not a real estate agent. You're not a real estate broker. You're a salesman or a saleswoman. And be proud of it. And then go do it. All right. Let's make this happen. I'll keep you in touch. I'll keep you informed. I won't lie to you. If I don't get this, I'm going to tell you I didn't get it. But I'll get some of them. All right. Good enough.